and today we're going to be discussing a very popular question in the world: are ghosts real?
They are not real.
We'll be getting to that in a minute, but me and Emma both have vastly different opinions on this topic.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be discussing why and the evidence for both sides. So Emma, tell us what you feel about ghosts.
Personally, I believe it's all BS. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know.
Anyway, so I don't think it's real because I feel like there's just not enough like concrete evidence to prove it, and I feel that it's a lot of like, if you've ever heard of like the placebo effect with like sickness and stuff like that, I feel like it's a lot like that. Like people have like these things happen to them that they can't explain, and so they blame it on like ghosts or something like that. And so that's my 2 cents. Anna?
So I have a different opinion because I believe in ghosts. I very much believe in ghosts because I feel like I've experienced ghosts. Most people consider the evidence believing in ghosts to be experiencing it, and I live in a haunted house. I have multiple spirits in there. I've been visited by a medium. I've had things move in my house. I've had doors shut in my house. I've had sounds in my house. It's all been very scary, and I feel like because of my firsthand experience, I can honestly say I believe ghosts are real. Emma laughs at me, but I feel like ghosts to everyone else have different qualifications. Sometimes it's not always a ghost, sometimes it's a demon, sometimes...
Yeah, but here's my problem. If ghosts for different people have different qualifications, then why are there ghosts in the first... Like, what are the actual rules of ghostliness? You don't know, exactly. You don't know what they are. You just have to be dead. You have to be dead, and you have to be able to move stuff or make sounds while being invisible.
Ghosts are tricky because depending on your religion, you might see the afterlife as something different. You might believe you come back. You might believe you go to heaven. You believe in tons of different things. And as a Catholic, I don't necessarily believe that it's all dependent on one thing. I think you're either here for a bit for a reason, or you're either not here. Easy as that.
Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be interviewing people with different opinions about this topic. And so we'll see who's right in the end. I think it'll be me.
And I think Emma's going to keep talking.
And that's it. The end.
Ghost skeptic.
Yes, that is very true.
So, are ghosts real to you?
To me, no.
Now, why do you think ghosts are not real?
Why do I think ghosts aren't real? Because number one, I've never really seen them, and like people are like, oh, but like the evidence is there, and you probably never looked for one. But like I have looked for one. Like my friends are very firm believers in like the supernatural, and like we've done like the Ouija boards and all of that, and like
you found nothing.
Yeah, not been haunted. Sleeping fine, no faces, nothing.
So why do you think people believe in ghosts so strongly?
I think that people will always believe in things that they want to believe in, whether or not like the factual evidence is behind them or not. Like if someone wants to believe that the color yellow is orange, then they're going to believe that no matter how many times you tell them that it's not true.
Mm. Now, has anything from your childhood, your parents, has that affected the way you've seen ghosts?
No, I don't think so. Both of my parents are sort of like on the issue. Like I think my mom is more of a believer that there are like souls, but like I don't think she's a very like firm believer of ghosts. And the same thing with my dad. Like neither of them really have like an opinion when asked.
So you've always been disbelieving in ghosts?
Yes, because I've never really been asked the question like in like a conversation, but like I've never sort of believed in ghosts ever.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Okay, I'm here with Chloe, who has a different perspective on ghosts or the paranormal than most people do. So, Chloe, are ghosts real?
I don't think so, but I do think demons are real.
You think demons are real? Now, how is your religion played into your believing?
Well, I think it's fully played into that because I've always, grown up with the sense that, there's hell, Satan is part of hell, and if you, sin all your life, then you're going to go to hell. And then, I believe there's other demons down there and stuff that have done bad things. But I just don't think that someone who died can, stay around on the earth and stuff. I guess their souls go to heaven or to hell. I don't think there's, an in-between. I don't really believe in purgatory either.
I see. So, would you consider yourself easily scared in that aspect?
I think I'm fearful of the fact that ghosts might be real. If I'm, on YouTube searching out Ouija board videos, I will get scared. I'll freak out and I won't be able to go to sleep. But it's more like I said before, I believe more in, demons than, people, let's say my grandmother coming back to haunt me or whatever, something like that. I don't believe in that. But, I'm scared of the fact that it may be real, so I try to push it out of my mind.
When you say you've seen videos of ghosts and stuff like that, what would you qualify as valid evidence for a ghost? If there were to be one, in your sense.
That's hard because, honestly, you never know unless you're actually there. Because for all you know, they can be editing that stuff into the video. This could be all made up. And if it is made up, then I don't know why you'd be making up. You're just scaring a bunch of people, It's kind of horrible. But, it would be something that I'd have to experience myself to validate that this is a real thing, and I haven't experienced that yet.
All right, thank you.
So I'm here with Kara, and she is a believer of ghosts. Kara, why do you believe in ghosts?
I've had some experiences, and my mom's told me stuff that she's experienced. So
what were those experiences? What were they?
Well, I've taken some pictures, and there would be the ghost figure in it, and then my mom, when she was younger in her old house, she said she woke up one night and there was this guy standing at the end of her bed in tux, and then years later she was talking about it with the family, and it turns out that her brother actually saw the same guy at night.
Ooh, spooky. So what do you qualify as evidence for a ghost?
I don't know. I think I guess pictures and I videos and yeah.
Okay. So have you always believed in ghosts?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite kind of ghost?
I guess the nice ones.
A couple more questions. Have you ever played a Ouija board? Have you ever done something that involves ghosts and stuff like that?
I've never done.
You've never tried contacting a ghost or anything?
No.
Oh my god. So Anna's telling me to ask you about religion, so I guess I'll do that. Does that have an effect on how you view ghosts in any way?
Personally, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you believe that children and animals have the ability to see ghosts more than adults do and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, so I have a dog, and sometimes he'll just stare down the hallway and just start barking. And one time he was downstairs laying by this door that had no windows or anything around it, and he just started barking. So then I went downstairs, and he was just staring into this other room, and there were no windows, so it wasn't something outside. So
creepy. All right. Well, those are all the stories, the questions that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Ooh, don't get caught alone, no, no.
All right. So after 3 interviews, Anna, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was very interesting to see everyone's different opinions. They were definitely very similar and very different in some ways. What about you?
Yeah, I thought that they had a lot of similarities with, like, some stuff. So, that's that.
It seems that there is a common pattern in most of our research and our interviews, and it's about experiences. A lot of people who did not believe in ghosts have never had an experience with the paranormal, and people who do believe in ghosts have had an experience. Isn't that odd? Don't you agree?
I guess it's odd, but, like, I feel like you can't rely on people's experiences. Because people tend to, like, bend the truth a bit, and, like, they try to make it, when people tell you something, it's, like, kind of like telling a story. They want to make it more interesting. They want you to be, like, they want, like, a good reaction from you.
Mhm.
So
You want more scientific evidence.
yeah, I need more, like, concrete proof. Like, yeah, scientific evidence.
So, backtracking a bit, people define ghosts as many different things, and we've seen that in just our 3 interviews. So, the common and most general definition of a ghost is an apparition, haunting, phantom / poltergeist, any of those words would do, that is a soul or spirit of a dead person or animal that can appear to the living. Now, these things can range from an invisible presence to translucent to barely visible.
Jesus.
So, Emma, what do you think of that definition? Would you consider that accurate?
Stupid.
Why do you consider it stupid?
Because I feel like, okay, people make up all of these, like, different, like, ghost categories and stuff, and I just feel like, yes, people do die, and I feel like people use, like, ghosts and spirits as, like, a comforting kind of device. Like, oh, they've passed on, but they're still with us in spirit, so...
Interestingly enough, Emma does make a good point there, because the origin of ghosts does translate all the way back to the Bible, to medieval times. Usually in religious practices, you'll see a lot of mention of ghosts, or the dead reappearing as apparitions.
Again, as a comfort to those who have loved ones that are dead. I feel like they use that, and they're like, oh, well, maybe if this scary person's a ghost, maybe my grandma's a ghost.
Yeah, I do agree with you, and I think there is. But I also agree that there has to be a reason that these spirits, this reoccurring theme of a ghost in history throughout time, I think there has to be some truth to it.
It's like oral tradition.
There is
people tell stories, and they pass it on to others. And then pretty soon it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until, like, it's just like a commonplace thing.
Most ghost stories we found have originated through the time period of spiritualism, and spiritualism and ritual magic are specifically designed to rest spirits to the dead, to have them be gone from your life.
Mediums are complete. They are full of crap. I don't believe it.
We're talking about the origin, the
origin.
Just let me finish my point.
Just because it's the origin doesn't mean it's any more like credible.
Let me finish my point.
All right.
So, ghosts, they're described as human-like essences from family and past members, and most of businesses and other places, like the Ouija board originated during this time, all for market, right?
Yeah.
Because there was such a big industry having to do with ghosts.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Yes, true?
Yeah, I feel like people definitely bank off of it. You've seen, like, TV shows about ghosts, you've read, like, books about ghosts, like, people are definitely, like, making, like, mediums, like I said before, mediums make a living off of this, like, superstition, so, yeah.
And it's even bigger today with things like horror movies and the media definitely personalizing the way we see ghosts and the horror type of movies. They definitely market it to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
So now, after we conducted our interviews, we also found some polls. We found some online polls of a majority of people, and we found that about 48% of people do believe in ghosts, where 45% do not.
Well, 48% of those people.
Well, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's actually, I didn't expect it to be this close. I thought it would have been a landslide.
In what? What category? People believe in ghosts?
I would hope. I thought it would either go either way, but it definitely did not. There's not a clear winner here, I mean. And when asked if anyone had personally seen or felt the presence of a ghost, 22% said yes, 77% said
So wait,
no.
22% of the 48%?
Yes.
Okay. Still
This is from the 48%.
Okay.
And it really calls to question how much of these people are actual believers. What have they seen? What have they felt? And it's weird to think about.
Can you hear me? I'm rolling my eyes. Can you hear me roll my eyes?
I just think it's interesting that 22% of people, and that may not seem like a big number, but 22% of that 48% have had a spiritual or paranormal experience. And that's pretty amazing. Because if you think about it, think about how many people are in that 22%. How many of them could be lying? They're not all lying. One of them has to be telling the truth. And I think I believe a good amount of them probably have had that. And it's hard because if you tell someone you have had a paranormal experience, chances are if they're like Emma, they're not going to believe you. They're not going to believe you. They're not going to agree with what you're saying because they didn't see it. And it really all goes back to, did I see it? Did I experience it? And you haven't experienced it, so you don't agree.
Again, you have to see. I agree. You have to see to believe, but at the same time, you have to see evidence. You have to see this kind of stuff happen. And most of these are just that, stories.
But most of them are first-hand experiences that people
First-hand
have.
by one person or a small group of people. It started with stories.
Mm-hmm.
The stories went on, and it'll end like stories.
Do you think
that's all
the
they are, stories?
Do you think the stories originated from truth, though? That's what I'm saying. I think they did.
I feel like there's always going to be a little truth to everything.
Mm-hmm.
But even if there is, that doesn't mean that little bit of truth, that does not hold up much. Again, like I said before, people go to this kind of stuff for comfort. They go there because people die, and they go there because maybe one day I'll be a ghost. Maybe one day this just won't end.
They're scared.
Yeah, they're scared. They're scared, and so they create these kind of scary situations in their heads and stuff.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But as I said, I'm gonna give you an example.
Experience.
Do you believe in wind?
Yes.
Can you see wind?
Oh my god, this is the stupidest thing ever. I know where you're going with this.
You
there is scientific evidence for this. There is no scientific evidence for ghosts.
You can't see wind, but you can feel wind. Depending on where you are, depending on who you are, where you're standing.
Oh my god.
Sometimes you can't feel the wind. Sometimes you can.
Wind moves objects.
So do ghosts.
And ghosts move objects.
My point is, you can't see wind, but you can feel wind. Most people feel wind more than others, just like more people have more paranormal experiences. More people feel spirits with them than others.
Throw up.
That's all I was saying.
Oh my god.
Seeing is not
and
always
to counter
believing.
that point, and to counter that, unlike ghosts, wind has scientists that have checked up on it from time to time. They're like, yes, wind is a thing. We have scientific evidence. Here's 50,000 articles about why wind is real and why wind is a thing. It is something that happens to everyone. Ghosts do not happen to everyone. Everyone has experienced wind. Not everyone has experienced a ghost. So, suck on that. Drop some knowledge.
This is almost 10 minutes long.
We're gonna reach the 20-minute mark. Oh God. Okay.
Whatever. Okay.
So basically, what we've concluded through this is
Ghosts are not real.
ghosts are real, depending on who you ask. It's one of those things that you're never ever going to be able to answer.
Yeah, you're
because
never gonna be 100% sure.
everyone is always going to have a different opinion. There's always going to be someone telling you different. There's always going to be a different religion, a different movie, a different source. This is one unanswerable, unsolvable question. And I think we did our best.
Yeah. Pretty sure I won. But anyways.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.